What is going on, guys? Dino Bam Bam here with the 10-7 MMA. Happy to be back in your lives with another quick picks. Now, I know this video's dropping a little late. It's Thursday night as I'm recording this, and that's fucked up. That's on me. My fucking bad, y'all. Usually, I like to have these videos out by Sunday, Monday, Tuesday at the latest, and we've been pretty damn good with that. But, you know, life gets in the way. Shit gets in the way. It's Valentine's week. Cut your boy some fucking slack, okay? The end of the day, the video's getting uploaded. Fucking appreciate it. Anyways, if you want to help your boys out, do us a favor. Not that. That's the wrong fucking thing. Do like the thing at the bottom says. Hit that like and subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me and DS. We have a goal of 1,000 subscribers. We're really trying to fucking get there. Maybe if we get to like 20,000, 30,000, we can quit our fucking jobs. We could do this shit full time. We can get these videos out to you on Monday night, on Sunday night. So if you're looking to help us out, like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to us. We are over 70%, by the way. I think it's a good time to start tooting our fucking horn again. Last week, not so great. But over the last year, me and DS both over 70%. You're not getting that shit anywhere else. These other motherfuckers ask for Patreons. They go live and they're asking for super chats. You're donating money to them. And they're picking fucking fights at a worse clip than us. Fuck that. Longevity, fucking, accuracy. Proven track record, guys. Proven fucking track record. Hit the subscribe button. While you're doing that, go on Instagram like I fucking already spoiled. The 10-7 MMA. Follow us there. We got pictures with us and fighters, including Calvin Cater, who is fighting this week. Enough of the fucking talking. Let's get straight into the fights, guys. Long-ass fight card. 13 fights for an Apex card. Let's fucking fly through it. First fight of the night, we've got Julia Avila. And she is taking on Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Guys, the odds speak for themselves in this one. Julia Avila, 36-year-old veteran of the game. She's got fucking gray hair. She's an aggressive brawler. She's got decent power. She has good jiu-jitsu. She's well-rounded. She's tough. She's kind of a throwback to like what women's MMA used to be. And I'm calling her old and shit. Like she's like fucking 2 years older than me. But you guys know what I mean, right? 36 years old. She's just a throwback to what the women's MMA once was. She just doesn't have it anymore. She's taking on Jacqueline Cavalcanti. She's going to be way younger. Long body striker, good kicking game, technical with the boxing. Good job moving forward. Not so much when she's moving backwards. Again, I'm saying this, and this is kind of like, splitting hairs, semantics, all that kind of bullshit. Jacqueline Cavalcanti has to be the pick in this one. I'm not going to let anyone pick Julia Avila. It is women's MMA, so who the fuck knows? But Jacqueline Cavalcanti has to be the pick here by decision. Now we can move on to some serious shit. We've got Don'Tale Mayes. I believe Don'Tale Mayes is fucking ranked, which is wild as fuck. We got Don'Tale Mayes versus Lil Big Bro, Walter Walker. Guys, Walter Walker, massive heavyweight. A super fun follow on Instagram. Y'all should go check him out while you're following us at the 10-7 MMA. Trains out of fucking Dagestan. This guy came into the UFC as like a Russian wrestler, even though he's a fucking Brazilian. He's the brother of Johnny Walker, right? But he fights nothing like Johnny Walker. He's an aggressive wrestler. He's good jiu-jitsu skills. He's going to fight like a Dagestani heavyweight. That's literally what it is. Don't look at the name. Don't look at his brother and let that get you fucked up. He's not going to stand there and bang with you. If he does bang with you, his striking is pretty goddamn bad. He does have some decent power, though, being as big as he is. He's taking on Don'Tale Mayes, who's a pure boxer, right? Fast hands, decent power, solid kick game, good leg kicks. He's just a striker at heavyweight, right? He's one of those kind of fat, sloppy dudes, but he's fast. He's fast for his size, quick hands, just doesn't have any fucking wrestling. I don't think very highly of either one of these guys, but to me, I have to take Walter Walker, right? Wrestler versus striker. You would think Walter Walker knows that he needs to utilize the wrestling in this one to get himself a win. Don'Tale Mayes, pretty damn hard to finish. No homo, pause, no diddy. Kind of a coin flip fight. I don't love the odds, but I am going Walter Walker. I think he makes it very fucking boring, gets himself a decision. Moving on, we've got Vince Morales, and he is taking on Elijah Smith. Vince Morales, a solid striker, always moving forward, tons of power, good power in both hands. Cardio is a little bit sus, right? He's one of those guys that starts out really goddamn hot, and as the fight progresses, he steadily declines. Like you could see it getting worse by the minute. And that's a fucked up thing to have as a UFC fighter. He's looking for his first win of his second UFC stint here. He was cut, made some moves on the regional scene, got signed back to the UFC, and lost to Taylor Lapilus last time out. So let's see what he does in his second outing. He is taking on Elijah Smith, an American wrestler, aggressive as hell, fast as hell, athletic as hell. On the feet, he has some serious power, which he uses to get to the takedowns, right? He's sort of that like prototype American wrestler. A lot of shit's been talked about American wrestling, by the way. And Elijah Smith, I think, is going to try to hold it down for the American wrestlers. It's a tough fight to call. Elijah looks good. It's hard to bet on him as a favorite in his UFC debut, but I think he's going to use that wrestling. I think he's going to tire Morales out, and he's going to get himself a finish to ground and pound. I'll go late round 2 TKO. I'm not super confident in it, but the odds have swayed. He was like minus 220 at minus 148. It's starting to kind of get where I like it, but hopefully these odds tighten up a little more. I'm taking Elijah Smith by TKO. Next fight of the night, we've got Gabriel Bonfim, and he is taking on Chaos Williams. Guys, Gabriel Bonfim, a great boxer, a multiple-time like Gold Glove boxer in Brazil, great jiu-jitsu practitioner. The dude is an absolute finisher. All of his career wins have come by finish. Great takedown skills. He's really, really goddamn well-rounded. And everyone seems to think his brother is the, better prospect. I don't think so. I think Gabriel Bonfim, the better of the two brothers, who I think very highly of. He's taking on Chaos Williams. Guys, we know the deal with Chaos Williams, right? Serious power, like one touch, nuclear option, death touch, whatever the fuck you want to call it. He lays people the fuck out when he connects clean. On top of that, great leg kicks, great head kicks. Like, the guy is always in a fight, right? Chaos Williams, you have to mind your fucking P's and Q's when you're fighting him. Because if you slip up for 1 second, and you let him find himself a fucking combination, or you let himself get in range, and he fucking finds you, you're fucked. But anyways, Gabriel Bonfim, guys, for him, I think this is a very, very scary fight. Both of these dudes are finishers. I just have to trust the guy that I think is a better overall fighter. Now, I understand that Chaos Williams can find the chin, and it is a very likely outcome, right? Like in the range of possibilities, if you play this fight out 100 times, I'm sure Chaos Williams wins a bunch by knockout. But I have to trust Gabriel Bonfim. I think he's going to use the wrestling. I think he's going to go to that jiu-jitsu that he's so good with. And I think he has to. Because if he stays on the feet, it's basically a fucking coin flip. If he takes it to the ground, he has the advantage. So I think he's going to work himself a takedown, get to the back, get himself a choke. I'm going round 1 RNC for Gabriel Bonfim. Now, next fight of the night, we've got Rafael Estevam taking on Jesus Aguilar. Rafael Estevam, guys, an undefeated grappler, likes to slug his way into body locks, goes for trips, goes for throws, tosses, that kind of shit to get the fight to the ground. He's super goddamn aggressive, but he's very sloppy on the feet. But that's okay, right? Because all he wants to do is get to that lock position, get you pushed up against the cage, drag you down to the ground, and then use his jiu-jitsu. He is a serious threat. I mean, he does have power on the feet, even though it is sloppy, but the real threat comes on the ground with the submission skills. He's 1-0 in the UFC, but that win came against ranked, our boy, friend of the channel, Charles Energy Johnson. He's taking on Jesus Aguilar, a short, stocky grappler who has a special move, right? He's one of those guys that has the vast majority of his wins in his career coming by one particular finish, and that's the guillotine, which is super fucking weird because he's short as shit, he's stocky, he's got little baby fucking, little baby dick-ass arms, and he somehow fucking wraps them around people's necks and puts them out. On the feet, he's definitely wild. We have seen some good power. I remember the knockout at UFC 290. I believe that was against Shannon Ross. Laid him the fuck out. We were there live for that. That was absolutely crazy. Seeing the odds here, guys, this is really, really throwing me off. Rafael Estevam, probably the better fighter of the two, but minus 485 is fucking bananas versus a guy like Jesus Aguilar, who has finishing ability both on the feet and on the ground. So with that being said, I mean, the bet definitely has to be Jesus Aguilar. I'm even going with the fucking pick. I'm going official pick, Jesus Aguilar, round 2. I think he gets himself a finish to that guillotine, right? I think Estevam's going to be trying to work for the takedowns. He's going to be in the clinch. He's going to be working Jesus Aguilar up against the cage. And as he shoots down to try to get that, drag down or fucking take down, whatever the fuck he's doing, I think Jesus Aguilar can grab that gilly. And if it's not that gilly, if this fight stays on the feet, he does have one-shot power. So give me Jesus Aguilar. I'm going to go round 2 sub. I don't mind the money line here at all. Now, a very, very interesting fight. Jared Flash Gordon. He is taking on Mashrabjan Ruzaboyev, little brother of Nursultan Ruzaboyev of fucking UFC fame. Now, guys, Jared Gordon, what is there to say? I mean, we've seen so much of him, right? He's a veteran of the game, well-rounded as shit, decent on the feet, good wrestling skills, solid power, a guy that should have a win over Paddy Pimblett, right? That's the thing that everyone wants to talk about. He did win that fight. Jared Gordon, a very well-rounded veteran of the game, and you know, you're not going to find any flaws in his game, right? That's the thing with these guys that have been in the UFC forever. You're not going to find holes in their game, and that's why they stick around. He's taking on the newcomer, Mashrabjan Ruziboyev, who's taking this on pretty short notice. He's a very aggressive fighter, guys. I mean, he fights very aggressive on the feet. He's constantly moving forward, winging wild shit. Of course, you look at the OEV last name, you know he has some grappling, an impressive record, impressive finish rate. But then when you go to his Tapology, I'm not going to do it here and read it to you guys. I'll let you fucking do it. But if you go look at his Tapology, I mean, it's ridiculous. We talk about can crushers all the time, and especially from that region of the world. This guy is the fucking definition of a can crusher. Is he dangerous? Yes. Can he win this fight against the aging Jared Gordon? Yes, he absolutely can. But I cannot pick a guy making his UFC debut who is as fucking, who is as violently, that's not even the word, I don't even know the word I'm looking for. But like just a fucking pure can crusher. I can't do that. I can't do it. Jared Gordon's the pick, money line. I think he wins this fight by decision. I guess if you watch Ruziboyev's tape and you see the aggression, I can understand, sprinkling something on him. I just don't think he's faced anyone near the level of Jared Gordon. So Jared Gordon by decision. Moving on. We've got Angela Hill. She's taking on Ketlin Souza. Angela Hill, similar, I guess, to the last fight in Jared Gordon, right? A veteran of the game. Very well-rounded. She's been here forever. Angie, a volume striker, right? She does have some ground game. She does have some wrestling, some decent jiu-jitsu, especially good defensive jiu-jitsu, but she's mostly a striker. Fast jabs, nice leg kicks. She does well with the kicks in general. She just has no power. She never really has. She needs to pick and prod her way to a decision victory. When she does win, she's taking on Ketlin Souza, a powerful striker who throws super goddamn hard, super damn aggressive. On the ground, she is solid. It's not really her world, but she's good enough there. She does a great job controlling girls on the ground, and it's because she's such a little fucking beast, right? She's strong as shit for the division. You can absolutely tell that. Now, I love Angela Hill. She can totally win this fight. Again, it's a veteran versus somebody that's kind of unproven, even though Ketlin Souza a little more proven than the last fucking gentleman. But yeah, I have to go with the youngin here. I have to go with Ketlin Souza. I just think she's going to be constantly moving forward on Angela Hill, pressuring her, throwing with no care of what's coming back, and using her clinch and holding Angie up against the cage. I think it'll be a pretty boring fight, but I think Ketlin Souza eventually wins this fight. Now, we've got Connor Matthews, and he is taking on Jose Delgado. Guys, Connor Matthews, a super high volume striker, gets super scrappy, gets hit a little too much for my liking. He's one of those guys that's willing to exchange in the phone booth a little too often for a guy that's just not that good of a fighter, right? Like, he's not very safe. He doesn't seem very high IQ, but the guy does have some good power. He's an okay grappler. He has a lot of submissions on his resume, but he's not the biggest jiu-jitsu practitioner. More of just kind of like right place, right time. I don't want to like take credit away from the guy, but that's essentially what those submissions look like. He is tough as fuck. Took his L in his UFC debut against our boy, another friend of the channel, Dennis Bazookia. He is taking on Jose Delgado, a UFC debutant, a striker, some good power, high volume, really damn aggressive with the hands. He keeps his hands up and he's very sound defensively. So that's a little bit of the yin and yang here, right? The difference. I was saying Connor Matthews has a lot of power, but he's not defensively sound at all. Jose Delgado, some decent power, a little less for sure, but very defensively sound. And he does have solid takedowns as well, and he's a finisher. Every one of his fights has been by finish. So to me, Delgado has to be the pick here. Matthews is tough. He hits hard. He can win the fight. I just can't do it. And I know I don't love betting on debutantes, so I'm not going to do it here. Minus 410 is a little fucking outlandish, but Delgado should get the win. I'm going to go round 2 KO. I think he sparks Connor Matthews out again, and I just realized it says Cano Matthews. That's not his name. Nobody's fucking name is Cano, so... yeah, fuck that. Moving on. Next fight of the night, we've got Rodolfo Vieira versus Andre Petroski. This is a grappling fight, guys. This is two fucking grapplers going at it. Rodolfo Vieira, a jiu-jitsu guy, and not just any jiu-jitsu guy. a super fucking high level jiu-jitsu practitioner, a multiple time world champion type of jiu-jitsu practitioner. But he struggles with that thing that a lot of these guys struggle with, right? Like mediocre wrestling. I don't want to say he's a fucking jiu-jitsu nerd. He's not one of those guys that like can never get a takedown, but the wrestling needs to be worked on the feet. Kind of meh, decent power, actually pretty good power. I'd give him like a 7 out of 10 on the power. He's taking on Andre Petroski, a heavy-handed grappler. Great wrestling, solid jiu-jitsu. The question with Andre Petroski is always that chin. It's really fucking sus. So it's a super weird fight to break down for me. Both of these guys are great grapplers. Oftentimes what that means is that that's going to negate itself, right? The two grapplers are going to negate each other. They're going to end up fucking striking. And that's a problem to me, right? Because Andre Petroski, like I said, he's probably the better fighter on the feet, but he has the worst chin of the two. So I'm really fucking worried about this one. But the way I kind of see it the way I kind of see this fight playing out is Andre Petroski is the better wrestler of the two. Rodolfo Vieira should not be able to take Petroski down. Petroski should be able to take Vieira down if he sees fit or if he sees the need to. So to me, he's going to dictate where this fight takes place. So I have to go Andre Petroski. I feel disgusting doing that in 2025, but I'm taking Andre Petroski by decision. I think he gets himself that third win in a row, and he's kind of approaching the rankings here, which is a scary fucking place to be. Next fight of the night, guys, we've got Ismael Bonfim. He is taking on Nazim Sadikov. And by the way, I just switched that thing at the bottom. It now again says, please like and subscribe. So you should listen to it. When I see shit fucking going across my screen and it's telling me to do stuff, I'll do stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're already holding your phone, or you're already on your laptop, or sitting there on your fucking living room watching it on the TV. Just press the subscribe button. It only takes like 5 seconds. Thank you. Anyways, Ismael Bonfim versus Nazim Sadikov, a very interesting fight. I think this has the potential to be a fight of the night for sure. Ismael Bonfim, a super wild fighter, kind of similar to his brother, right? I mean, he's definitely more reckless. He's the more reckless of the two. He's the more flashy, dynamic of the two, but similar. Great boxer, great jiu-jitsu skills. He was the one that was kind of fraud checked a couple fights ago, and people are kind of low on him, but Ismael Bonfim, man, to me, he still might be the real deal. He's taking on Nazim Sadikov, a good striker, solid power, decent counter boxing. Last time out, he had the draw against Slavakos. Now, this is a guy that trains out of Serra-Longo, right? He trains with Aljo and Marab don't even train there anymore, but he's with Dennis Bazukia. This is a gym that is known for their wrestling. All their guys are great wrestlers, and it shows with Nazim Sadikov, especially that last time out. He was able to get a couple takedowns that really kind of swayed that fight. Now, I don't mind Nazim Sadikov here as an underdog at all. I think he's a very good fighter in general, but Bonfim, to me, is more of the real deal. I think Ismael Bonfim is going to be a fighter that we're going to see in the rankings inside that top 10, whereas Nazim Sadikov, when it's all said and done, might be a guy that gets close to the rankings. That's just how I see it. I think this is going to be a fun, dangerous fight. Both of these dudes are finishers. I'm going to say decision, but I think we do get a fun fight of the night, a super close, razor close decision for Ismael Bonfim. Now, guys, where are we at? Next fight of the night, the Golden Boy, Edmen Shahbazyan, and he is taking on Dylan Budka. Guys, Edmen Shahbazyan, a super high-level striker, right? A great kick game, throws heavy as hell when he does throw. The struggle and the knock with Edmen Shahbazyan has always been his takedown defense. He is a pure striker. Anytime someone's able to take him down, which is essentially anytime someone tries to fucking take him down, they take him down and they basically beat his ass. Now, if it stays on the feet, he's generally going to be the better of the two fighters. And that's across the board. I mean, he's generally better than whoever he's facing. That's especially going to be the case against Dylan Budka, who is a high-level wrestler. Great double leg takedowns. He's calm as hell when he gets the fight to the ground. He's not one of those guys that panics and looks for, looks for submissions and kind of loses position. He'll keep position. He'll rain down some heavy ground and pound. He does really well with control. Now, on the feet, he's not nearly as refined as Edmen Shahbazyan, but he is tough. He is willing to exchange, which could be his undoing in this one. So, again, a lot of shit has been talked this week, right? It's kind of been the hot topic, the buzzword in fucking MMA this week has been American wrestling. And is it shit? Is it good? Is it overrated? I think Dylan Budka is a very high-level wrestler, and he's going to use the fuck out of that against Edmen Shahbazyan, or at least he needs to, or else he's going to get knocked the fuck out. I see him using the takedowns here. I think he's going to use a high pace. He's going to be relentless as hell with the wrestling attacks. And eventually he's going to find himself a submission later on in this fight. I'm going to go round 3, arm triangle for Dylan Budka. Guys, Edmen Shahbazyan, a fighter that I love. It's just when he gets taken down, he is a fish out of water. And I know Dylan Budka is not nearly the level of fighter in everyone's mind as Edmen Shahbazyan is, but wrestler, grappler versus striker, right? I have to go with the wrestler. I have to, especially in like today's fucking climate. Are you kidding me? In today's fucking day and age where people are shitting on American wrestling, go fuck yourself. American wrestling is the best wrestling. It's better than Dagestani wrestling. It's better than Russian wrestling, which is Dagestani wrestling. It's better than Georgian wrestling. It's better than all of them. American wrestling is the fucking gold standard. And we're going to see that next week because we have Olympic gold medalist Henry Cejudo. But anyways, moving on to the co-main event of the evening, we've got Calvin Kattar. And he has taken on the fucking surging, and I mean absolutely surging, Youssef Zalal. Calvin Kattar, a great boxer, an OG of the game here. Good volume, just a fucking natural in the striking. I was talking about it with Shahbazyan. They're very different strikers. Calvin Kattar more so a boxer, but goddamn, his boxing is pretty to look at. In the grappling, he's kind of mid, right? Very mediocre in the grappling. His last fight at UFC 300, we saw Aljamain Sterling kind of ragdoll him. And yeah, I know that's Aljo, guys, and he is a very high-level wrestler, a former world champion. You have to consider, though, that was Aljo's first time moving up to 45. Also, Aljo, much smaller than Calvin Kattar when they stand next to each other. It's very obvious that Calvin Kattar has a ton of size over Aljo, yet Aljo was able to fucking ragdoll him. He's taken on Youssef Zalal, who has had a career resurgence that like anyone would fucking love. Storybook type shit. He was cut from the UFC, went on like a 4 or 5 fight win streak, got his way back into the promotion, and he's on an absolute tear now. A good volume striker, very, very sound defensively, a super, super good fucking defensive fighter, rarely gets hit. Recently, we've seen his wrestling on display. It's very impressive to see the jump Youssef Zalal has made from his first stint in the UFC to his second stint in the UFC. Now, we have to realize his first stint, those losses were coming to high-level guys, right? Ilya Topuria, shit like that. And he was looking okay in those fights. It just looked like he wasn't on those guys' level. But knowing what we know now, pretty fucking high level. Look, I think this is a huge step up again for Youssef Zalal because he fought those guys. He was cut, won his regional fights, came back in the UFC, got some solid fights. But now he's taking a step back up to Calvin Kattar, a guy that was just on the cusp of that title shot for years, right? And of course, he's aging and he's on his way down, but still a massive step up for him. This is going to let us know a lot about Youssef Zalal and what the future holds for him. If I have to bet, now hear me out. I want to make this very clear so nobody gets upset with me. If I have to make a bet with money, fucking DraftKings, Caesars, whatever the fuck you guys are using, the bet is going to go on Calvin Kattar. The official pick is Youssef Zalal. I think Youssef Zalal is going to win this fight. I think it's a crossroads fight, an aging veteran versus a guy that's surging and is on fire, right? Momentum. The momentum is in Youssef Zalal's hands right now. I just worry, though, for him, if he can't get himself a takedown early in this fight, and he's not a guy that relies on the takedowns, right? Again, a great striker, very sound defensively, but if he can't get himself a takedown, it's going to stay on the feet, and it's a coin flip of a fight. So that's why I'm saying the bet has to be on Calvin Kattar, but the official pick is Youssef Zalal by decision. I think he gets this done, and I think this could be a very fun fight, especially if it stays on the feet. And we move on to the main event of the evening, the Killer Gorilla. My boy, Jared Cannonier. He's taking on another, my boy, I guess, in Gregory RoboCop Rodrigues. Guys, Jared Cannonier, great power, great striker, great resume, right? Fought for the title. We've seen wrestling from him as of late, which is super fucking nice to see a guy in his 40s adding new wrinkles to his game. Of course, Jared Cannonier, famous for having knockouts in 3 different UFC divisions: heavyweight, light heavyweight, middleweight. Now, I know if you guys are still watching this, you're probably fucking massive fans of the UFC, of MMA in general, but there are pictures out there, if you haven't seen these, of Jared Cannonier as a heavyweight, guys. And now look at him at 85. He's absolutely fucking jacked for a 40-year-old. And you look at him, he's just like a fat fuck at heavyweight. It's awesome. Awesome to see that for Jared Cannonier. He is on a skid here, though, guys, right? Let's get back into the fight. He's on a skid here. Hasn't looked good his last 2 times out. Here's what he had to say about this fight. He said, guys, I'm going to go out there. Everyone's kind of like, fucking talking shit about me. They think I'm done. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to have a performance that's going to get everybody back on my dick. That's a fucking quote. I'm going to have a performance that's going to get everybody back on my dick. So let's see if everybody's hopping back on Jared Cannonier's dick as he takes on RoboCop Gregory Rodrigues, a.k.a. Brazil Obama. My fellow Brazilians, Fala Galera, shit like that, right? Gregory Rodrigues, guys, well-rounded, good power, serious jiu-jitsu skills. The thing is, we never really get to see those jiu-jitsu skills. He was a guy that never utilized the ground game, but it was always an option for him. And it got me thinking, right? We see guys like Michael Chandler who are known for like high-level wrestling, yet we never fucking see it. There are always these guys like Sean O'Malley. Everyone says like, well, Sean O'Malley's got some really damn good grappling, yet we've never seen his jiu-jitsu. And they claim it's like super high level. Gregory Rodrigues was like one of those guys like, okay, is his jiu-jitsu really that good? No, it's really that fucking good, guys. It is legit. He's willing to stand and bang, though. He's willing to trade. He's willing to get bloody. He's willing to get fucking busted up. Last time out, he did use his wrestling finally. He wrestle-fudged Christian Leroy Duncan to a victory. Now, I'm really worried about Jared Cannonier here, guys. You know I'm a massive fan if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time. The power of Jared Cannonier seems to be slipping, and they say the power is the last thing to go. There's a noticeable difference in Jared Cannonier's power here. So he's on the wrong side of 40. The power is slipping. If you think about it, if the power is the last thing to slip, that means everything else has fucking slipped. He looks a little slower. The cardio looks a little shitty for Jared Cannonier. I'm definitely worried for him. I know this is a massive step up for RoboCop, and I don't love the odds at minus 230, but I have to pick him here. The way I see this fight kind of playing out is sort of a feel them out first round from both guys, kind of finding their range. Maybe Cannonier kind of wins that by leading the dance. I think round 2, Gregory Rodrigues is going to realize I should start taking this guy down, get him tired, the power, lower that power a little bit. I think he wins the second round by doing that. Kind of the same shit, rinse and repeat into the 3rd, 4th, and 5th if he needs to. But I think he's going to find himself a finish in that 4th round. I think after 3 rounds of Jared Cannonier kind of being wrestled and his cardio starting to go and him kind of getting beat up by Gregory Rodrigues, I think he's going to get wobbled again, guys. We've been seeing that a lot lately from Jared Cannonier. So I think RoboCop, who does have serious power, ends up catching him on the chin, wobbles him, kind of drops him up against the cage, finishes him off, no diddy, with a couple strikes while Jared Cannonier is covered up against the fucking cage. So that's the pick, guys. Gregory RoboCop Rodrigues by TKO round 4. And that is the video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. UFC Seattle next week is going to be an absolute banger. Henry Cejudo on the card versus Song Yadong. Badass main event. Another crossroads fight there. We may or may not have Captain Eric on the show this week to talk a little Henry Cejudo. If you guys want to see more, do us a favor, like, subscribe, thumbs up, fucking ring the bell. Help us out. We got to get to 1,000, and then eventually like 20 or 30,000 is the end goal. But 1,000 would mean so goddamn much to us. So help us out, subscribe, please, and then follow us on Instagram at the107MMA, where I'm going to be uploading a photo with Calvin Cater as soon as I get off of this fucking podcast. This is Dino Bandman. This was the 107MMA. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.